When I go back to school, I should set up my room specifically so that I have a cool background to film against instead of just like this kind of house stuff. It feels weird to be doing this in just my work clothes. Hold on. That's better. So last week I said that the empowerment ceremony kind of deserved its own video, and this is it. This is that video. So for those of you that don't know, Camp Kesem is a summer camp for children whose parents have or have had cancer. And it's impossible to say that without making it sound like cancer camp and making it sound super depressing, but that's really not what the camp is there for at all. It's really about, like, having a week where you get away and don't have to worry about those kinds of problems anymore. Which sounds super escapist, but it's amazing how therapeutic that can be to so many people. It's, like, absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like it. But we have one night during the week where we all talk about death and get sad and stuff. Or not necessarily get sad, but it is the night where we kind of air out all our emotions and really, like, talk about the cancer thing a little bit. And the way that that's done varies depending on the year, depending on the place you go to, but this year at this camp, it was just that we all got in a big room, everyone at the camp, and there was a microphone, and we all sat there silently, and if you wanted to say something to the camp, you got up and went to the microphone and talked. And you were generally encouraged to just talk about, like, what Camp Kesem means to you, and what Camp Kesem has done for you. They really tried to put an emphasis on the empowerment part of empowerment ceremony, where it wasn't supposed to be just about, like, talking about how sad you have it. It was about kind of trying to talk about the positives and trying to emphasize what it is that camp is doing for you to try and move past that, which is a really helpful thing for a lot of people. And for some people it's not, but for some people it is. So, and it's been a really long time since I've been in any kind of place where I kind of need that kind of therapy for my grief. But it still kind of gets me every time because, I mean, like, it's a bunch of kids talking about their parents having cancer. Like, it's really, really sad. And I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. Like, of course, you don't want to necessarily dwell and wallow in the sadness, but at the same time, camp does provide, like, kind of a safe place to experience that sadness and a safe place to process it, which is not something that they often get in the outside world. You know, there's this adage that every person you meet is fighting a struggle that you'll never know about. And every time you hear that, you know, it kind of just sounds like a platitude until you actually, you know, see it. Like, with your eyes, you see these people, like, these kids who are from the most different walks of life you could possibly imagine. And all of them are going through this thing. And all of a sudden it's really not a platitude anymore. All of a sudden it's really, really real. And it's almost easy to forget even while you're at camp that they're going through something like that because it's such, you know, just like a fun time. So that kind of makes it clear, like, even how easier it is to forget that people can be going through that kind of struggle when you don't already know that they are. So that's what the empowerment ceremony has grown into for me. It's not necessarily a place to express my grief, but it's a way to remind myself of the struggles and the strengths that other people go through on a daily basis, and to kind of remind myself of the prevalence of that struggle and its persistence, even though we aren't necessarily always aware of it. And just as much as that, it's a way of reminding me just how gosh darn important all of those campers are. And by extension, how gosh darn important everyone is. And if that isn't empowering, I don't know what is. P.S. In response to Tayshawn, wait, are you actually leaving? Why didn't you tell me about that, like, the night before you put that video up when we saw each other? What? Good luck on your quest, my young Padawan. You're older than I am. What am I talking about? Good luck. Don't get arrested, please.